For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving, and supervise your children.
Welcome to this week's edition of When Can We Do This Again, guys. This week on When Can We Do This Again, I am going to take you through a fairly quick list of my overrated restaurants at Walt Disney World. Overrated, you say? What makes them overrated and why? I know I'm going to have people who disagree with this list because there's going to be some favorites on this list that people are going to go like, I don't understand it. But here's the deal, guys. Overrated in my mind doesn't mean it's a bad place. It just means it's not a must-eat for me anymore. So we'll go to these several restaurants, guys. We'll check them out, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why they're no longer a must-eat for me. At least several of them are still good, and I still would eat there, but I just don't seek them out like I used to, guys. So come along with me on this edition of When Can We Do This Again as we check out the most overrated restaurants at Walt Disney World. Let's go. First thing we're going to do today, guys, is visit Ohana. Oh wow, Ohana on the overrated list. I know that's not going to make some people happy, but I do feel overall, Ohana, that's a tongue twister, guys. Overall, Ohana is overrated. Here's why. I've been here twice. The first time I loved it. Had to come back. Had to get here, guys. The food is good. It's not great by any means, but it's good. The experience the first time was good. Like, everything said, hey, come back, we got to do this again. The second time I came back, service lacked, the food lacked, everything lacked. I know most people don't go off property to eat, but I would much rather spend the same amount of money at a place like a Brazilian steakhouse, like Fogo de Chao or Texas de Brazil, than come to Ohana and spend the same money for a lesser quality food. Now granted, most people aren't leaving Disney property. If you're going to leave Disney property, I have no problem if you want to eat Ohana. Like I had a great experience the first time, and maybe I will again, because I will come back to Ohana in the future. But I'm just saying, to me, when everybody's like, hey, you must go eat Ohana if you're going to go to Disney, well, unfortunately, it falls short of that must-eats list because of the service, and the food quality is not that of what I would experience at a all-you-can-eat similar type buffet off property. Like I said, there's nothing. I'm not really trying to knock Ohana here, guys. Get that straight. I do like Ohana. I just think it is overrated for people who say you must eat here when you come to Disney. It's no longer a must eat for me. It was for one trip, and then after that, yeah. But try it yourself, guys. It is a good meal. I'm not knocking it. It is a good meal. It's just not a must-eat and not something that I must do when I come to Walt Disney World. Let's go check out the next place that is just a little bit overrated, in my opinion. Next up on my overrated at Walt Disney World, it is right here behind me, guys. I am at Epcot. There's the sign over here, guys. It's Le Cellar, however you want to pronounce it, guys. It is an overrated for me because the steak was not as good as I thought it should be, and had heard for a long time, hey, go eat the steak, go eat the steak, go eat the steak. Guess what? Not as good as it should have been. I enjoyed some of the food there. I'm not gonna say that, but the steak on the overall just did not meet the hype, and especially for that price, it definitely needs to meet the hype, guys. Definitely needs to meet that hype. Like I said, I would go back and have the puntain, the fries with the load. Yeah, I would have that in a second. But the steak, just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen again for me. And I don't think I'd go back here, even though, like I said, maybe I should give it another try another time. Maybe a different steak, and another time it might be a whole lot different. Because I have heard from several people that like in a matter of 30 minutes, they've had different experiences between family members. One going sitting at the other side of the restaurant, getting a steak, loving it, and the other side not liking it. So maybe it's a consistency issue with Le Cellier, but with that, it ends up falling into the overrated list, guys, because I just don't buy the fact that you're gonna spend that much money and have that type of inconsistency. Like I said, it was good, not great. I definitely would put that on my overrated at Walt Disney World, guys. What's next, guys? What's next? Let's head to Animal Kingdom to find my next overrated at Walt Disney World. We are headed to Animal Kingdom for the next up on this overrated list, guys. Overrated or overhyped, however you want to look at it. This restaurant definitely fits the bill to me. I heard go to Tusker House, guys. Go to Tusker House. Go to Tusker House for breakfast. It's great. It's great. It's great. Well, I kind of thought it was just average at best. The food, most of the food was really just normal breakfast food. There were a few different tie-ins with the restaurant and with Africa and things like that, but nothing that really just went, wow, I gotta have this. Nothing. And trust me, I loved sauna, so you gotta know that I enjoyed that. But the food here was not really anything to brag about. I will say the highlight of this meal is it is a character breakfast, and you get to meet Goofy, Daisy, Donald, and Mickey in their safari outfits. It was fun there. This was also my birthday. I did have fun at this meal, guys, but I wouldn't go back. I don't know that I'll ever go back to Tusker House to eat, because I just kind of, like I said, I think it's overrated. We are now over at Magic Kingdom for one last overrated, guys. One last overrated. But before I do that, I'm going to give some honorable mentions. And I went to find the list, but for some reason I'm no longer part of the page that I got the list from, and was talking to people about their experiences and where they think it's overrated. I do have two from that list that I remember, and that was Chef Mickey's and Cinderella's Royal Castle on the overrated list. Now, I don't know. I haven't eaten at those places, so I cannot give you my own opinion on those places, but those were two that were also mentioned several times on these lists. Let's go check out my last overrated at Walt Disney World, guys. Last but not least, on my overrateds at Walt Disney World, and I know this one's gonna be a little bit controversial because people love it. People love it. It's Be Our Guest, guys. Be Our Guest is also making the overrated list. And why do I say that Be Our Guest makes the overrated list? Well, because it's overrated. I don't feel like it's a must-do if you've been here multiple times. I would say go. If it's your first time here, and this might be your only time, go. I definitely don't take that experience away from you. But if I'm going to go, I'm going to go for lunch, guys. I've been to all 3 meals here in the last year. I've been to dinner twice, I've been to lunch several times, and I've been to breakfast once. Breakfast is overpriced and unless you're just coming to get in the park early, then I would never do breakfast here. Dinner's good. It's not great, but you do get to meet the beast, so you are paying for the experience there. Lunch, I've enjoyed lunch several times here, and I like lunch here. It's definitely a good lunch here. The fact that it's always booked out and everything, that's why I'm saying it's overrated, guys. It's not that it's good, and it's not that it's not a positive experience at Disney World. It just probably doesn't deserve the bookings that it gets on a regular basis, and the fact that you can never get in. If you do want to get into it, guys, I give you tips. Always try the 180 days out. If you know you're going to be here, do that. If you don't know you're going to be here to the last second, then check constantly going into that last 2 weeks. Every night, check. Keep checking, because that will help you out. And if you have a party of like 4, break it down in 2 and 2 maybe, as those might be more available than a party of 4. Yeah, but overall, I say that Be Our Guest is overrated. Just because there's so much hype around it, and I don't think it lives up to the hype. It is a great experience. Don't get me wrong. It's just not worth the hype. That's what I think. As well as dinner, I don't know. It's not worth the price for dinner. Lunch is where I would go if I was going to Be Our Guest, guys. That is going to do it for this week's edition of When Can We Do This Again? I know, I might have stirred up a little bit of controversy here with the train in. I'm gonna get out of here with the controversy because I did probably name some of your favorite restaurants that are on my overrated list. I apologize, guys, but that is how I see it. There's some places that people overhype and you go and it's just not worth the hype, to me at least. Like I said, I loved Ohana the first time. Second time, big issues, quality issues on the just all the way around. Be Our Guest, I've just never seen it worth the price of admission. It's great, and if you're only going once in a 5-year period or once in a lifetime, go do Be Our Guest. Don't miss it. But just tame your expectations a little bit. Like I said, I never said any of these places weren't good. Well, minus the Tusker House one. But outside of that, Tusker House I just didn't enjoy at all. But everything else, I've had good experiences at, or I've eaten good food there, and I would go back again if it was in the right time. Just not something that I must do. Guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Hit it. Don't hit it twice, because if you hit it twice, it dislikes it. Hit it once, like it, guys. As well, comment down below if you have any comments on disagreeing or agreeing with these overrateds, guys. With these overrateds, I know there's gonna be some comments this week because yeah, these are some pretty popular restaurants. I am gonna call it a show. Wrap it up. Like I said, like, subscribe. Magical World of M. When can we do this again? Magical World of M. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and when can we do this again on Facebook, guys? Check it out. Just like and subscribe, all that good stuff. The train's leaving with me. I'm out of here, guys. Till next time, I hope to see you again so we can do this again. Goodbye.
Station right now. But if you stay on board